We're getting into that part of the season when there is no tomorrow. Here in week 18, yes, you still have your playoff game in front of you. But after this week, there is no tomorrow. Everybody got to make sure they put their best foot forward, and it's time for Mike Tomlin to start to get that mentality that there is absolutely no tomorrow. Welcome back to Mike Drop Sports, everybody. I'm Jason. Let's dive in here on a Tuesday, I believe. But we are here going through what this Pittsburgh Steelers team needs to do in Week 18, needs to do moving forward. Yes, this week is the final regular season game, but what are you entering? Where are you headed? When this is all done here in Week 18, which is Saturday night, it's all over. You're in that time, you're in that zone where there is no tomorrow. And if you're Mike Tomlin playing ultra conservative, not allowing the offense to start to really blossom, you do at times, and when you do, it's amazing. They start to grow, and then all of a sudden, you put that stranglehold back on them. You pull the reins back. You don't allow it to keep going. You're afraid of the mistakes. You're living in your fears. Yeah, these are true things. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have to start avoiding those situations. If you're Mike Tomlin and you talk about you don't meddle in the affairs of the offense, you got to stop lying to everybody and just admit that you do. Because, again, there's one common denominator with several different offensive coordinators, and the outcome has all been the same. The offense has basically looked relatively identical over the last three coordinators. Honestly, the offense has looked basically identical. And there is no real blame really to cast other than on Mike. And if you're Mike Tomlin, it's time to stop that. We can sit here and beat him up all day with our words and pin the blame on him, which it is. But it really doesn't get us anywhere. It doesn't get him anywhere. But if you're Mike Tomlin and you see this video and you're hearing the fan base, it's time to open things up. You've seen other coaches do it. You've seen other coaches in your own franchise do it. When you're in that shell, you're ultra conservative. Sometimes you just got to cut things loose. Sometimes you just got to open things up. And this offense can no longer afford to sit here and be this conservative shell of itself. Down in, down out, week in, week out. You've already allowed it to foil your plans here when you sat 10-3. And I understand they played three good football teams, but they could have got one of those. They were in every single ball game. They were in every single ball game playing a brand of football that was living in your fears. And we hear it each week in Mike Tomlin's word salad. We don't live in our fears. We don't live in our fears. Yes, you do. You're afraid. That's sad, and Mike Tomlin's got to stop playing that way. You can't come out with 12, 13 personnel continuously. You can't come out putting Patterson and McCole Pruitt out there in the most important situations in the football game, leaving your playmakers on the bench. You can't come out and not throw the football on first down occasionally. You can't come out and not throw the football on second down occasionally. You can't allow defenses to know exactly what you're doing in obvious passing situations when they can pin their ears back and put immense pressure on your offensive line and Russell Wilson. You can't allow those things any longer. These are the playoffs. These games from here on out, even week 18, everything just means so much. Everything means so much. And I know maybe this game doesn't change the Steelers' fortunes in any which way, shape, or form in terms of seeding, in terms of the division. Maybe it doesn't. But it does mean one thing that's really real, and I preach it constantly. I've been preaching it since I started this channel. It's momentum, and momentum is very real. And if you're the Steelers and you don't gather some momentum here in Week 18, you're going to be in trouble. I'm not saying you have to even win the game. You have to gather some momentum. You have to go into the playoffs really on the right foot. And maybe you fall behind early to the Bengals. Maybe you find yourself in a situation that you don't come out the winner, but you know what? Maybe you came out in the second half, you hung 20-some points up, you started getting the offense humming, the defense started getting stops, maybe then you lose by, a touchdown, a field goal or something, but you really got that momentum swinging. Even that situation could work well. And if you're the Steelers, guys, it's time. There is no tomorrow. There is no more, we're going to get back in the lab. We're going to get back to work. We're going to correct our mistakes. There is none of that no more. That talk is, we don't want to hear it, Mr. Tomlin. Nobody wants to hear it. We want to see results. Results. And I get it. The fan base sometimes is impatient, but this fan base hasn't been impatient in this situation. They've waited for over a decade for you to start having some playoff success. And the mediocrity being celebrated is a direct slap in the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base. Right in their face. It is. Celebrating the mediocrity of a franchise that is so storied. That is at the tops of the charts in terms of Super Bowl championships. And yet you want the national stage to celebrate you for non-losing seasons with a record that absolutely means nothing when you have zero playoff success. Stop living in your fears. There is no tomorrow, Mike Tomlin. None. Tomorrow doesn't exist. I'm not saying this as Dog Mike Tomlin Day. I'm saying this as wake the hell up, Mike. Wake up. You got to be different. These are the playoffs. Maybe if you, for once, change your way of thinking here a little bit. Stop thinking that you have to be right all the time. And start doing some things that are damn different. Maybe you'll have some different results. Maybe you'll have a football team that starts to rise. Maybe you'll have a football team that starts to gain momentum. Maybe you'll find yourself in a big-time position here late in the playoffs. Maybe. Possibly. I think the chance is there. I think the opportunity is there. But you gotta wake up. I hope you see this, Mike, because this is the truth. We're here, and there is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow, man. And it got to end here. Living in your fears got to end here, Mr. Tomlin. And allow this football team to just go out there, play loose, fast, and free, and allow them to just have fun out there and go get it. Don't live in your fears, man. Don't. All right, guys, make sure you're joining us tonight for Steel City Live. I had to get that off my chest. You just hear the weekly press conferences. You hear the same thing over and over and over. And you just wake up and you say to yourself, there is no tomorrow. This got to stop. You just hope that he starts to hear the message eventually. It's been a decade of constant mediocrity, constant disappointment. There comes a time where enough's enough, and I think we've hit that part of the road. Oh, man, I hope he hears it, man. I know he always says he doesn't listen to the media, he doesn't listen to podcasts and things of that nature. Well, I hope you listen to this one, Mike, because this is coming from right here, man. This is coming from a heart, coming from a fan. It's got to stop, man. It's got to stop. Call your boy up. I'll give you some X's and O's to break you down here a little bit. Get you back on track. Let me know. Let me know, Mike. But anyway, guys, again, join us for Steel City Live tonight. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Again, there is no tomorrow, and we are rapidly approaching the end of this season, and we need to get things cranking. Don't forget that I won't pull it up, but we are going to try to give away a signed jersey from one TJ Watt. We want to give that away if we can make it to 10,000 subscribers, which I think we can do. But that all comes down to you and being part of the Mic Drop Mafia for 99 cents a month. That could get you entered into the TJ Watt signed jersey giveaway. Make sure you join us and make sure you give us some subscribers here and help us reach those goals that we are looking to reach, and so we can do something special for you. So until then, I'm Jason. This is Mic Drop Sports. Peace, my friends.